Yeah, so my name is Todd Nief. I'm from Chicago. I own South Loop Strength and Conditioning and Legion Strength and Conditioning. And came to this course because I've known Jason for a while. And I heard that it existed. I couldn't find any information about it. So I emailed him and I was like, hey man, are you coming to Chicago? What's the deal? He said, yeah, I'm doing a seminar. Do you want to attend? And I said, probably. What is it? When is it? How long is it? Send me the information and here I am.
Guys, at the end of the day, we're about to create change. I said this on my vlog yesterday. There's 120 people that are gonna go through this certification this year. If all of you over the course of your career can help 1,000 people, we helped 120,000 fucking people get better.
What was the main thing that you took from the weekend, like in terms of compared to other certifications that you may have been to, especially nutrition-wise?
Yeah, so I think that the biggest thing with any course like this, especially if you've taken a lot of them, is that you're always kind of filtering information and saying, okay, cool, like, I already knew this is in alignment with this other protocol, this is out of alignment with it, and you're just always kind of bouncing things off each other to figure out what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and what's valuable. And you know, you're looking for like nuggets of information that's actually actionable or sort of improves your understanding. So for me, the most valuable part is definitely going through avatars of people, just hearing the thought process that Jason goes through when working with clients, right? Because like all the theory stuff is great, and if you don't know that, you have to know it, but then when you're kind of in the nuts and bolts of it, then you can extrapolate that into bigger picture ideas. Like, okay, well, you have to ask this question in this situation, right? You have to push this client on their food quality, whereas this one you need to push them on, you know, their sleep or their lifestyle, whereas this one is just not eating enough. Really being able to parse out those different decisions.
That definitely seemed like a part of it that everyone enjoyed, where you could really get individual different scenarios.
Obviously, in season, two things matter: performance and recovery, period. So any client that hires you during the open, for those of you that are going to work with CrossFitters, and says, well, I want to look really good, but I want this to be my best open ever, you have to have a conversation. The first step you're going to take with that client is to immediately have a conversation. Nothing else. You're not going to look at their intake. You're not going to ask about their history. You're not even going to entertain the idea of working with them until you guys get on the same level.
I mean, I think that anyone interested in nutrition coaching, right, it's sort of one of those things that's becoming more and more popular, especially online. It's like, oh cool, I'll be a nutrition coach. Like, it seems fun to people. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, quit my job and be a nutrition coach. And it's not that simple, right? It's not that simple to make prescriptions either, because it seems like it's just gonna be, oh yeah, I'll give them the macros and like tell them to not eat bullshit, and then everyone's gonna lose weight and love me. And in reality, there's a lot of hard work and psychology and things like that that go into it. So, you know, getting a proper basis of understanding of where people are coming from and other stuff that they may have been told that's not helpful for them, and then the ability to, and like I said before, figure out what buttons you need to push on to get results for them. You know, that's how you can actually get results for people and make it a sustainable process for them and for you as a coach.
I gathered from a lot of the input that you put into the weekend that you work with some pretty high level athletes, regional level, on a consistent basis. Obviously you probably program for them, help coach them. How will this kind of weekend help with your approach? And do you think other higher level coaches would be able, even if it's not nutrition specifically, do you think it would be helpful to them?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that for me, you know, I'm not someone who's a nutrition coach necessarily, right? I'm not out there prescribing a bunch of macros for people and things like that. I mean, I'll help people, I'll answer questions, but a lot of what I do as a coach is more on the program design end for people. Some of them are competitive in the sport of CrossFit, some of them are pretty good. And in any situation like that, you're essentially trying to find the highest leverage activities for a client to work on, right, as well as low-hanging fruit for them to significantly improve what they're doing. And a lot of people have just no fucking clue what they're doing with nutrition and are reading a lot of mixed messages online, looking at forums, getting half-baked advice from other people. So having at least a solid understanding of what performance nutrition looks like for the sport of CrossFit, I think is essential, because you're going to get questions and you're going to get people doing stupid fucking bullshit they found online or prescribed by a coach who doesn't necessarily work with competitive CrossFit athletes. And, you know, just being like, oh, don't be an idiot isn't necessarily helpful, but you have to have an understanding of roughly where they should be so that you can, if that is totally out of alignment with their goals, be like, hey, like, let me ask you these questions. Like, why are you following this template that has you on 40 grams of fat when you're doing double sessions 6 days a week? Like, you know, just, you have to be able to find that if it's an issue and know sort of where to ask questions, and then, you know, have the resources of the people here, either Jason or his coaches or any of the other coaches taking this course. Like, hey, here's some folks who actually understand this as a sport and are potentially going to put you in the right direction.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
For sure, man.
Thank you.